Until the beginning of the Syrian crisis, Turkish priorities in Syria had changed. At the beginning, the fall of the Assad regime was a priority, but the changing nature of the Syrian conflict also affected Turkish Syria policy. So in that sense, Turkish Syria policy gradually shifted, and the priorities are changing. Now, the main priority for the Turkish side is to eliminate the terrorist groups which are close to Turkish border area, and also preserving the territorial integrity of Syria, which could also threaten the Turkish territorial integrity in the long term, and also preventing possible new refugee influx to Turkey. We already have more than 3 million Syrians in Turkey, so this puts a huge burden over Turkey's shoulders, so that Turkey wants to prevent any new influx of refugees, and if possible, Turkey wants to create a suitable environment for the Syrians to return their homes, towns and cities. So these are the main priorities. Also, in that sense, other than dealing with the Assad regime, supporting all kind of diplomatic and political initiatives in the international arena, Turkey is now waging its own military operation inside Syria, which is called the European Shield Operation. With that operation, Turkey is trying to eliminate the terror risk from its border area. ISIS was on Turkey's border. Thanks to that border share, they were shelling the border towns, and also they were easily penetrating the Turkish territory and operating some terror attacks in Turkey, which we experienced the biggest terror attacks in Turkish history. And besides the YPG attacks, which Turkey considers as a PKK extension. So this new entity, both ISIS and YPG entity in the north, poses a huge threat, so that with the European Shield Operation, Turkey is eliminating that terror risks, and we now pushed back the ISIS elements from our borders, so now they cannot shell our Turkish border cities. And now, after Elbab, the next step for the Turkish army and the Turkish state is probably going to be to face with the YPG elements, which is another challenge for Turkey, as the YPG is aligning herself with the US side. So Turkey has also good relations with US and critical about its stance about YPG. But now the negotiations are going on between the two sides to find a solution to YPG problem. It couldn't be worse than Obama term. I mean, Turkey is so much disappointed with the Obama term, and now Turkish side thinks that it is for sure going to be better in the Trump era, and the expectation is the fight against ISIS is going to be a priority. That's for sure. But Turkey thinks that as a local ally, Turkey could cooperate with the US side to eliminate ISIS in the eastern side of Euphrates River, in Raqqa and also in other areas. So is asking for and looking for a cooperation with the US side. Now there is a Turkish offer to US side for the Raqqa operation. Turkey says that we can gather nearly 10,000 Arab fighters, including the SDF. Within the SDF there are Arab elements, including that Arab elements, FSA forces, which Turkey is supporting, could be added to that force. So nearly 10,000 Arab forces, so exclude the YPG. In addition to that, Turkish special forces and US special forces could be a part of that Raqqa operation, so we can win over ISIS without YPG. That's the Turkish offer. But from Trump administration, there is more chance for cooperation. But the thing is, they don't want to abandon the YPG. They are still trying to find the middle way between Turkey and YPG. The negotiations are going on. The CIA Director Pompeo was in Ankara a couple of weeks ago, and then the Danford Chief of Staff was in Ankara again, met with the Turkish Chief of Staff. Trump and Erdogan is going to meet. They already talked via telephone, and they are going to meet each other. Prime Minister and Vice President Mike Pence meet each other. So the negotiations are going on. and the decision of the Trump administration will determine the fate of Turkish Syria policy from now on, and also the fate of the YPG regions in the north of Syria. If US Trump chooses to cooperate with the Turkish side, then we could see a joint operation in Raqqa, which could also advance to Deir ez-Zor. But if not, if they continue to, the US side continues to cooperate with the YPG, then Turkey might look for its other options, the B plan or the C plan, which could include a cooperation with the Russian side and also even the Syrian regime. Actually, the regional countries, Iran and Turkey, is a bit concerned with the increasing foreign influence inside Syria. On the one hand, there is US bases, military bases in the YPG controlled areas. On the other hand, there are Russian military bases in the regime controlled areas. So that the actors who are not a part of the region is getting the upper hand inside Syria. In that sense, Turkey and Iran has a common concern. And other than that, the territorial integrity issue is also a common concern for the Turkish side and the Iranian side. But still, we see that there is a rivalry between these two. Not limited with Syria, including Iraq and Lebanon. These two actors, regional actors, are competing each other. But according to the scenarios that I mentioned in the previous questions, if US does not decide to cooperate with the Turkish side, then Turkey could look for a regional-based solution in the region, which could also include the Assad regime, which I also said. That plan, that scenario could also include the Iranians, which are also concerned with the territorial integrity and the rise of a possible Kurdish state or de facto state in the north. So both competition and possible cooperation are going together, I should say. So this the determination of that process is also depending on the US decision, Trump administration decision. Turkey is looking for a cooperation, but if not, Turkey probably could apply other options. A regional solution to the problem for sure, but it is impossible from now on. Now the Syrian issue has become a battlefield for regional actors and also the global actors, and there is no way to ignore that reality on the ground. But the thing is, if the regional actors, if they have capacity to come together to find a solution, that alliance could also balance the external influence inside Syria. They could have some kind of a say, a vote in the future of Syria. But the thing is, as you mentioned in your question, there is also an ongoing tension between the regional actors itself. So it is really hard. Turkey is concerned with the increasing role of Iranian-supported militia forces in the region, the Hashd-e-Shaabi forces in Iraq, and also the Iraqi militia forces, and also Hezbollah, Lebanese militia forces in Syria. And Turkey thinks that those militia forces are taking over Syria. Parallel to the weakening of the Assad regime and the regular army, those forces are controlling the Syrian territory. This is concerning the Turkish side. So it is also another challenge to find a common ground between these two. But when it comes to macro level, you are right. I mean, the Iranians and Turkish side could find a common ground on Syria. I mean, unfortunately, when we talk about the Syrian population, the Syrian society, it is divided, it is fractured. There are people who are living under regime control. There are people living under opposition control. There is a Kurdish reality in the north living under YPG control. So under these circumstances, probably every segment of the society has different wills and demands for the future of Syria. Of course, the urgent necessity for them is a ceasefire, is the end to the conflicts, armed conflicts. because especially the ones living under opposition controlled areas, they are under huge security problem, and besides they cannot receive the basic needs of themselves, so that the urgent issue is the security and the humanitarian aspect of the Syrian civil war. But for the future of Syria, there is a reality. Although Turkey is with the territorial integrity and is with the unitary state in Syria, the reality is Syria has been divided between ethnic and sectarian lines and between ideological lines, so that it is really going to be hard to create a national identity for the future of Syria. In such a case, probably we are going to face a de facto partition Syria under different countries' influences. So this could be the not best solution, but the most applicable solution for Syria. Of course, there is a problem for the refugees. They are seeking to return their countries. Nearly more than half of the total population is now whether they are internally displaced or migrated to foreign countries. So to create an environment which those people could return to their homes is the most preferable solution for those people, of course.